But, once all that's done and we've, had a glass of wine and a cocktail and, by halfway home, we're making out at stoplights.
What do you think your secrets are for a happy marriage?
So that's a good question. My wife and I, we go on quarterly retreats where we'll just lock ourselves away for 2 or 3 days and plan out everything from our son's schooling to our plans for where we're going to live to how things are going in our own relationship to just to like have those deep periods of connection. So we have those touch points every quarter. We have family dinners every single night. Well, I wouldn't say every, like 6 out of 7 nights of the week. We've got wonderful, glorious family dinners where we're all together playing games, sometimes with guests in our home. But, and my wife and I are kind of like the bastions of the community in terms of throwing dinners like that and having people over and having family dinners, which I think is really, really helpful. I think our morning meditations and evening meditations as a family, those are really beneficial. We schedule out weekly date nights where just the two of us go out. And we also have monthly one-on-one date nights with each of our children, which is also really, really helpful for getting the kids off on their own and hearing a little bit more about their hopes and dreams and desires without their siblings around, and being able to connect one-on-one, I think is really important. And then it sounds silly, but I think one of the key aspects of a relationship that's so simple yet so beautiful and has really brought us close together is every night, the last thing we do before we go to bed is we pray. Like as our heads hit the pillow, we're just basically laying together in an embrace, praying and, laying out our hopes and dreams and desires and temptations and failures and struggles before God. And I tell you what, it's really difficult to like have some kind of argument or friction between you and your spouse and still be able to go into that sacred spiritual place together and pray. And so it's almost like we know at the end of the day, everything needs to be right between the two of us because we're going to be like in this holy place praying. And it almost like the few times that we've had where we have an unresolved argument or a conflict between us or somebody's mad at each other about something, it's almost like the prayer seems fake or inauthentic, or you almost like are really reticent to do it. And so it's this built-in mechanism, this nightly prayer between the two of us, that pretty much ensures that by the end of the day, anything that did go wrong has been kind of like set right between the two of us. So there's this Bible verse that says, never let the sun go down on your anger. And I think that's really sage advice. Basically, my wife and I never have the sun go down or never go to sleep with something between us. And I think that nightly prayer helps out quite a bit. So those are a few of the things that we do.
I love it. We do weekly date nights too. I mean, our kids are a lot younger than yours, but it's super helpful to just have it scheduled in because otherwise, sometimes life just sweeps you away and you don't.
And I mean, a lot of times you're like ships passing in the night, and you don't wind up having those deep discussions about things that you're struggling with or things that you want to talk to your spouse about that might be bugging you about them or whatever. And so we have our weekly date nights, but a lot of times, like, we're going in with a few things written down that we actually want to talk about, almost like a meeting, which sounds like unromantic or whatever. But, once all that's done and we've, had a glass of wine and a cocktail and, by halfway home, we're making out at stoplights, but yeah, I mean, sometimes the first part of the date's almost like a business meeting, but it's super helpful to keep you on the same page. Yeah.